thanks again for taking your time to come out. We're going to have a really informal advisory committee / tour of the school because I really want you all to see some things out in the building, some things that we've changed, some new things that we've done probably since you were last year. And I want you to see those things rather than listen to me sit here and talk about them. So we're going to be really informal, and I'm going to be really
These are
free. Hand-selected students that our teachers chose to hang around today to kind of get to know you all, to mingle a little bit. These are some really great students that we're proud of. They come to school every day, they work hard, they present themselves in a marketable way. They are learning some skills that can be very, very valuable out in the workplace, but also skills that help them provide for themselves and their family. And we're really proud of them. If you're looking for summer help, afternoon help, or people to help you in the future, you need to grab a hold of some of these guys and get them on your payroll, because I really think they would be a benefit to you. And I want you to talk to them as you go through, and I want them to talk to you and ask questions, and so I want you to kind of intermingle with them as well. So with that said, right next to us here is Mr. Musgrave. I believe, third year. This is Mr. Musgrave's third year. He teaches engineering mostly, some civil engineering and engineering design, principles of engineering and that type of thing. Also a little bit of computer-aided drafting, and he does a really good job as well.
Well, I kind of have the basic two building blocks for the engineering, I guess you'd say. I teach the introduction to engineering, where they learn just engineering fundamentals, basically design and development, design process, and then what goes on, research and development, things like that. And then we go, and you can see the classes that are offered. The second one is principles of engineering, where they learn more about the physics and the all the math that would be involved in the engineering. And then in the first two classes, they do a lot of this stuff that you see on the computers right here, just CAD, like computer-aided drafting. This is called Inventor. It's AutoCAD Inventor, but some of the industries may use that, or they might use something like SolidWorks or something of that sort. And then we also got civil engineering, and that's what I've got set up back here. What we did last couple weeks ago, teaching the students how to read a transit. I mean, obviously, you go by the highway department, or right here where they're cutting all the roads and stuff, putting new roads in, they're going to have to shoot that site, shoot the elevation and everything. So the students learn how to use a transit, site development, and things like that. And this is one of my civil engineering students, Alex Tipper, and he actually is going to show you a little demo on what they've been doing on the CAD program. What they did with that, the original project was basically a warehouse. It was in Noblesville, Indiana. They take a warehouse, an old warehouse, abandoned warehouse, and they've gutted it, and they're supposed to make it a community center. And what they did was they're going to develop it to be a library. And so they've got a little bit of the topography and everything like that, and then they've got the shell. So they went in there and redesigned the inside of that structure, following codes and regulations, looking up codes and requirements, and occupancy
formulas, rain, runoff, load, beam load, inertia, moments of inertia, how much force an object can take, anything from utilities to pounds per square inch. We've covered it, and we've had to use it in day-to-day skills on the computer program. And it's pretty interesting. If y'all want to come look at this, this is Midway, almost completed, sort of, not really. Preview, overlay, walkthrough of the library. We had to start out and put the floors in the library, do all that good stuff, and then we had to export it into the hub, into the library site plan. And this is just going to kind of take you through a walkthrough of what we've created. And I've kind of added some special touches here and there. I'm a Ford man. You'll see two Fords parked out front here. And there's a library. And on the top floor right here, we had to put a green roof, sustainable green roof, as one of the what LEED, is it?
Yes.
LEED development projects. I had to calculate how many parking spaces you had to have, how many handicap spaces you had to have. Had to be very eco-friendly, sustainable to the environment, very green, save as much as you could. Just anything you can think of that you would have to use to build a house. The IBC, we use a lot of those codes. I mean, it's just like manual labor on a computer. It really is.
What is, they might not know what the IBC stands for?
International Building Codes.
Yeah,
There we go.
Building Council.
Building Council.
Building Council.
And
Code regulator.
it's been pretty neat, interesting. Started out from sketching and that kind of stuff, and now we're on a computer putting it all to work and
So-
making it run.
I guess you can probably show them the overhead
yeah.
view that
Here's the three-dimensional view, the isometric
So-
view.
that was, you know, they're given that topography map, and then they take that building and incorporate it into that. They had a
We started out with this, and then we had to put the parking lot and
that green?
and a retention pond. Had to calculate that.
yeah, for the
Yes, sir. For
Because
the
you got to
parking lot.
develop a retention pond it's got to satisfy the pre-development, you know, what the pre-development runoff factor was. So you've got to be able to hold that amount of water on that area. So then they calculated how deep and how the size of that. And I told them we would just make ours 4 foot deep. So then they calculated what size, dimensions, whether they wanted to do a square or a circular pond. And so that was basically what we've covered on about the last week. Like last week was just post-development, pre-development, post-development runoff. And that course goes from residential, the first half of the class is mostly residential development, and then we switch over to commercial. So a lot of the applications that apply to residential, it kind of, you know, it's for commercial too, just on bigger scales.
And as you can see, I put a helicopter inside the library. I thought that would be kind of neat. So.
But I mean, from everything, from the number of urinals they have to have, the number of sinks, to fire escapes, you know, how many, you know, if they got 2 stories, right, or if it's, you know, they've got to have 2 exits on that second floor, and so they've got to put the stairwell and everything. And it's got to follow codes, so they do a lot of time researching those codes and regulations and everything. It's good, I mean, with civil engineering, it's almost as much as following rules and regulations as it is developing.
So it's
Get
88
a good
compliant.
idea.
It should be.
I've had probably 20 or 30 good ideas. Yeah, man, I'm gonna do this. I'll look it up in the code. Can't do it. God, I gotta start all over. But I mean, it's been a great learning experience. Awesome software. You couldn't ask for anything better.
So what are your post-graduation plans?
My post-graduation plans, I've already been accepted to the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, going 3.5 years for a 6-year master's degree on mechanical engineering. I've got hopefully getting lined up for an internship at Volkswagen. My granddad's on the board there, maybe, positive, I don't know, hopefully. And after that, go and get my journeyman machinist license, and I'm gonna try to minor in robotical engineering to try to, I don't know, I guess you could kind of say I'm gonna kind of be leading the human workforce.
Well,
But
thank you.
I'm sorry, you have to be aggressive in today's economy, and that's the way I look at
It
it.
is, it's
trying to
called
plan
Vex
ahead.
Robotics, and they hook up a PLC to the computer, and then they have all these gears and sensors and motors and stuff in those boxes, and they learn how to program robots, just like, you know, you would see, they would use a C++ programming, robot C++ programming, to write a computer language to make it do whatever it is they want it to do, and and that's the second engineering course. That was the principles of engineering. So those are the 2 that are required, is the introduction and then the principles. And then they kind of venture out depending on if they would rather go into digital electronics or civil engineering or computer integrated manufacturing. And more often than not, once they've taken those 2 engineerings, they take everything that they can. I mean, you get them over here for 1 or 2 classes and they're like, shoot, I like this. So.
Yeah, I've actually liked it so much that I have worked on my classes throughout to where next semester I'll be up here all day.
See, he actually goes to Cornersville School, so he's worked it out with his principal and with our principal and everything, that he will actually be here, you know, all 3 periods.
Vocational
No,
classes.
right now, Chapel Hill and Cornersville only get to come for the first block of the day, and then they have to go back at 9:15, 9:30.
9:30.
But, so he'll be over here.
Yeah.
Retired.
Becca's on his 3rd year as well. He teaches machine tool. That machine tool is one of the newer programs that we have. We've just recently moved out of the old paint booth where we were cramped up into the wood shop that we had to close to make space for him. So if you don't go to any other of the shop programs, you need to go down and look at that one, because we have some new equipment in there that is really second to none in any high school, but many post-secondary schools. There's a definite opportunity for our students to learn some things there that will put them ahead of the curve when it comes to competing for jobs. So he teaches machine tool, also teaches a little bit of engineering. And I forgot to mention, he and Mr. Musgrave both teach a middle school engineering program where we're trying to recruit students to get them in the door.
Mr. Pickle, what all do you teach here?
Manufacturing, machining, and I also do middle school technology and engineering. Bring those guys over here as well. We got three levels of the machining. We got a basic introductory class, then the more advanced levels on up to the second and third levels, and trying to get these guys to where they know a good trade, to have a background to rely on, and maybe the knowledge to read prints and understand and know what to do on processes and things like that. Probably what I need to change.
What else are you morning?
Well, we're going to get a couple, maybe three manuals. I got the CNC that it is also manual, but I'd like to have a couple or three more. We're going to try to do that. They're trying to double our manual bill.
Then you wind up working down there for him?
Yes, sir.
Doing it in the machining?
Now, is these brand new machines?
Every Saturday.
Brand new. I didn't know.
Curious.
I didn't know if some of the other went online and found some of the manufacturers that make
Everything we got.
How many students do you normally have in here, about average?
That's, right now, our average is 13, about 16, starting in January.
16 kids.
That's a whole lot.
How many seniors you got?
Right now, 5.
5 seniors.
About 5 seniors.
So they're gonna be looking for a job for too long.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's 2 of them right here. One
What,
going to...
what's your name?
Cameron Millwater.
Cameron Millwater?
Nice to meet you. Daniel Brooks.
Daniel Brooks?
He's going to go to TTC for machining, and Mr. Brooks is going to UT Chattanooga.
You teach how to what's your ultimate goal? I mean, where you looking to?
I'm looking to major in business and marketing and take over my granddad's diecast company eventually one day.
Where's that at?
Down below Walker's,
Atco.
Atco Diecasting.
Yeah, Mr. Brooks. Love right there now. I think we're all right. Then what are you looking to do?
I'm going to TT Sheffield as soon as I graduate. I'm going to do additional maintenance, and after a little while I'm going to do machining, so I'll be more valuable and have 2 things under my belt.
So you coming back to Marshall County?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's great. Love to have you. A lot of talent.
I like it here.
Well, that's great. Well, you talk to him, he take over his granddaddy's business, he can hire you as soon as you graduate.
That's it.
The Spot Lowe Technology Center is keeping Marshall County students in tune with the future.